So here are some examples given. Circle. All right. And whenever we have the smaller object, for example, we have here 4 different circles of diameter 10, 15, 20, and so it is always preferred to provide the dimensions outside the drawing. All right. It is always preferred. All right. In some cases, suppose if the drawing is bigger, then in that case you can provide the dimension inside the drawing. All right. So otherwise we always provide the dimensions outside the drawing. All right. So for example, if you take the 4 cases, let's say the first is 10 mm, 15 mm, 20 mm. These are smaller circles, so we have provided the dimensions outside. All right. So this is the bigger circle, so in that case we can provide the dimension inside. So these are all correct dimensions. These are all correct. Depending on the size of the circle, you can follow any of this. So you can provide in that way, you can also provide in that way. Okay, so there are methods. Let's have the curvature exists in the component or in the element. So in that case, how we refer? So if we look at here in the second part, radius. So here if we look at, let's say this example, R5. So this curvature here, it is outside. So the center lies outside. For this part, center lies inside. Alright, so this is like this. So let's say if I draw it like this, so this part. Alright, so for this part of the circle, the center, let's say somewhere over here. For this part, let's say center somewhere over here. Alright, so let's see how the dimensions are provided. So in this way, R5. R stands for radius. R stands for radius. For this inner as well, this is taken from here, it's extended here. Alright. R5. R stands for radius. Alright. Also, angle. How do you present the angle? Now, angle can be measured in the degrees. Then we can also have the minutes. Alright. So in that case, we put the signs. If we have the bigger angle, then we can accommodate in the inside this region. Alright. So there are various ways we can represent the angle. Sometimes we can keep the arrow inside. We can also represent it outside, like this. Alright. In case for very small angles, we can represent it like this. For very small angle, for example, this 7 degree. Let's see how it is represented. Alright. So maybe just 40. So it is like this. Alright. So here we just extend these lines. We keep the arrows here. Alright. And here we put the 70. Alright. So this is it. These are all accepted dimensioning methods. In case of circle, in case of a square section, how do you represent? For circle, we know we commonly represent it by putting the symbol phi. Alright. So what is that phi stand for? Phi stands for the diameter. Alright. Diameter of the circle or the circular component. In case of square, we put the square here. Alright. For this one. This has square cross section. So we put square 20 here. We put square 20. Alright. Because from this dimension, it is not clear. If we simply put 20 here, it is difficult to find whether it is square or not. For this, what we do, we put the symbol square. Okay. We put the symbol square, so it is like this square, and you
square.
put the yes.
Sir, why did we put square? Can you explain again?
Because it is a square in cross section.
Achha, so it is a cuboid.
Yes.
Okay.
So that is why this dimension is square. If we cut this one, if we try to see from this side, we'll see a square of 20 by 20. So the other, so in this case, the one dimension is given here. The obvious dimension of this is again 20. This is again the 20. So this is clear from this dimensioning, square 20. Square 20. Okay. So these are the way of providing the dimensions. Okay, a radius, diameter, angle, square cross section. So these are the examples. And whatever the while discussing the dimension, whatever we have discussed, the different rules of dimensions, they are all accommodated here. So we'll just go through quickly to these statements. Provide all necessary dimensions, like that we have seen. Should not provide dimension more than once. Alright, so this is the does not mean the additional information. Dimension should be placed on the view where its use shown more clearly. Alright, that means we show the with far. Alright. For example, let's say this varies. Alright, we should not show it like the far away, something like this one. R5. This is wrong. Alright, we just close to this, close to view. Alright. Also, there are some dimensions, some rules like the mutual crossing of dimension lines should be avoided. Mutual crossing of dimension lines should be avoided. Alright. So, alright. So for example, let's say this is one dimension line, and let's say there's another dimension line is coming like this. Alright. We should avoid these things. Alright. So these dimension lines are cutting each other. Okay, so this is wrong. This is alright. So as far as possible, you should avoid these things. Okay, avoid the crossing or cutting of the dimension lines. Alright. Also, the dimension line should not cross any other line of the drawing.